Hello everybody, and welcome to our round 17 tips and predictions video. We've got 8 rounds remaining. We are not currently joined by Uncle. He will be in and out of this video. He's experiencing some technical difficulties, issues with his internet. Basically, it's not being up for very long, so I thought I would just do the intro and stuff, and then we can grab him in. If he's only here for 2 minutes, hopefully we can just get some tips and stats from him. But yeah, so that's going to be what's going on for this video. If you do like it, make sure to give us a like and comment down below. Give us a subscribe, that'd be great. Really appreciate all the loving that you guys give. We do stream on Thursdays and Friday nights. We stream the footy, so if you guys want to just watch some footy on one screen, have us on the other, and we can just chat shit all through the game. Make sure to subscribe so you know when we go live, and yeah, it's real good fun. First thing is first, we are going to go through our current ladder predictor, which is bam right there. It's beautiful, hasn't really changed much. Crows up due to their nice percentage little boost from beating Richmond across the weekend, but yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. Fremantle still sits 4 points out. They could be a sneaky chance to come home real strong. I know that they're currently sitting inside the 8, but GWS just sitting out of it. I still believe that there's a lot of tough games for Fremantle. I think there's only 2 guaranteed wins, I think, in my opinion. The rest are 50-50, so depending on how they go throughout the season will determine how far down they drop or how far up they go. But last week, the results from last week's tips between Uncle and I, start of the week 83-85. I got a nice clean sweep, 7 from 7. Uncle unfortunately got 6 from 7. The only one he got wrong was Sydney over Bulldogs. A lovely display from the Bulldogs to be able to beat Sydney at home, considering Sydney are starting to really look like a really good side. I think that they'll finish off the season quite strong. They are a sneaky chance to make finals, but I think it's probably too far gone for them to really make a real dent into the top 8, unfortunately. But that leaves us at 90-91. So it's a real tight race. I don't know if we will be getting any differences this week, because I know that it's going to be top 9 versus bottom 9. So there's not really going to be a huge amount of 50-50 games. I think there's probably only one. So we'll see about that. First game of the round this week will be Thursday night, 7:30 p.m, Marvel Stadium, North Melbourne versus Bulldogs. I think North Melbourne will be pretty disappointed with themselves across last week's performance over at Tassie against Hawthorn. I thought they played pretty well the last couple of weeks against Fremantle and Carlton, bringing up victories and a close loss to Fremantle over there especially. So I think they'll be pretty disappointed to be dismantled by Hawthorn. I thought that they were going to put up a lot of a big fight, but it turns out that Hawthorn just whacked them away and didn't even bother. Treated them like little kids, treated them like they're in the rebuild that they actually are. It kind of looked like North Melbourne are starting to hit their straps a little bit and look like they might improve towards next year and next year beyond, but this week I think they got a big setback. I know Zerha was pretty not happy. He was pretty upset, sorry. Towards I think it was 3/4 time, kind of like spat the dummy, just threw the ball down towards a Hawthorn player. Wasn't really happy with their performance, and I wouldn't be either, to be honest. I will be going Bulldogs. They were fantastic against Sydney. I thought every single turn they kind of led most of the way through that game, if not all the way through that game. Every time Sydney came back, Bulldogs had an answer, and it was really quite well. Isaac Heaney played a fantastic game and was somehow managed to not get the job done, thanks to the likes of Fraser, who had a fantastic standout game himself. Bont had a pretty good one. Sam Darcy back kicking 5 goals, I think it was. He was tremendous up there. So we'll go for the Dogs. Uncle, are you there? Yes, hello. Welcome. I'm finally here. Some internet issues, and just quickly before they rise up again, Bulldogs versus North Melbourne. The last 5 times they've versed at Marvel Stadium. Bulldogs getting the better of them in the last 5 games as well. So for that reason, I will be going the Doggies. I think it's just really tough to really go past Sam Darcy. He's fantastic. Little fun fact for you, some good stats here. North Melbourne are the bounciest team out of these two, which makes sense. Kangaroos bouncing all over the place. North Melbourne averaging 8 bounces per game with the ball. Bulldogs only 6. Oh, seems like we've lost him again, but thank you very much for those tips and stats, Uncle. On to the next. We've got a double header this Friday night. Carlton versus Collingwood, the first one over at 7:20 at the G. Big game usually. Unfortunately for Carlton, though, if anything coming off their last couple of weeks, I think it's just going to be absolutely stomping ground for Collingwood. They're free to get themselves a nice percentage boost, unfortunately. I do like to see good, tight contests, but I just don't see Carlton coming anywhere near it at the moment, especially Silvani will be out this week as well, we've heard, across the weekend, coming off injured. Collingwood are just still in fantastic form. They kind of seem to just exert enough energy to get the job done, doesn't matter which team it is. So they were really brought to by West Coast. I thought West Coast this past weekend, especially that first half, were fantastic. And at halftime, I was kind of wondering, are we going to see a little bit of an upset here? But first versus last, it was first that came out on top, obviously. But fantastic second half. I think they probably just need to work on those first half, especially, not letting teams just bounce all over them early on, but fantastic for them. They showed up in the second half and did what they do best, and not really let West Coast get back into it there, outscoring them quite heavily in the second half too. Yes, I'm back. Carlton versus Collingwood here at the G. Fun fact there for you, 4 out of the last 5 Collingwood have been able to come away with the victory, including one of those really putting the dagger in Carlton's final chances. I remember a few years ago, it was a late goal from Jamie Elliott, I think it was, to really put the knife in the coffin. And little fact for you, there's a 30 game average experience difference between the two going into this. Collingwood are using 105 average games per player compared to 76 for Carlton. For that reason, I will be going Collingwood. I think they just look fantastic, unbeatable, and Carlton just suck, really. They just, really, really suck. Whoa, bit aggressive there, Uncle. I forgot to mention, I think I'm tipping Collingwood as well. I agree with you there on that one. They're just too good. 4 out of 5 of their last 5 games at the G. Fantastic effort. I think Carlton just can't really get on top of them. A little bit of a bogey side. Carlton have been pretty good over the last few years as well, so pretty good for Collingwood to be able to just keep them down like that. Again, double header for Friday night. So we've got West Coast versus GWS at the same time over at Perth, 8:20, so an hour late start. That'll start going just before the second quarter ends. Thankfully, I hate when they double up exactly at the same time, so you end up watching no football during the halftime break. So this is excellent. We'll be going Giants. West Coast, very good for the first half, poor in the second half, quite usual for them. Giants last week having the bye, so they're going to be quite fresh, even though it's at Optus. I think Giants pretty comfortably. Yeah, no, you're right. GWS have won also their last 4 out of the last 5 games against West Coast. Funnily enough, only 2 of those games being at Optus. But GWS will be too strong off the bye. It'd be fantastic for them. They'll be full of energy, full of beans. I just wanted to point out that I will be tipping GWS, mainly because they average 69 interchanges, so great number, and that's why I'll be going the Giants. Next up, we got the Saturday games. We've got Essendon versus Gold Coast finally, after it was supposed to happen in opening round. Unfortunately, this isn't the makeup game for it. That one's still later in the year, but at least we get to see them two collide for the first time. Saturday, 12:35 at Marvel Stadium. Marvel having a double header for the day anyway. I will be going Gold Coast in this game. I think that they're just too strong. Essendon have been very up and down. Gold Coast have been a lot more consistent. They had a very good 3 quarters against Melbourne. Melbourne coming home quite strong late, but the game was already kind of done and dusted by then. So it would be nice to see how they go in Melbourne. Travelling away is always an interesting one for Gold Coast, so we'll see how they go. Yeah, Gold Coast for me as well there, Matt. They've won their last 2 against Essendon last year, where Mac Andrew kicked the goal after the siren to win them the game. But so I will be going Gold Coast. They're a lot better side than Essendon, I think, this year. They've won their last 2. Interesting, Essendon have used players with an average games of 69, so funny number again, but unfortunately that's a lot lower than Gold Coast. So I'll be going Gold Coast purely for the experience, but it will be interesting to see how they go away from home as well. Next up, we've got Geelong versus Richmond at GMHBA State. GMHBA, yeah, I said that right correctly. Geelong, obviously, pretty easy. Richmond, pretty bad this past weekend. I think Adelaide were very, very good. Richmond were quite poor, especially Lynch. Lynch had a horrible first half and then followed up with a suspension. So, not good. We'll see later this week. By the time this comes out, we'll know how much he got. But yeah, don't know that one at the moment. Joys of recording this earlier in the week. But yeah, Geelong will be too strong. If anything, I'd put Jeremy Cameron down for 5+ goals this week as well, for those of you wanting to do that. Geelong for me. Yeah, the correct. Geelong for me too, man. I think that one's pretty easy. Geelong have won the last 4 out of the last 5 games, so I should say, sorry. Funnily enough, 5 of those games have been at the MCG, so they don't play at GMHBA all too often, but Geelong did win the most previous, the most recent, I should say, encounter, which was at GMHBA by 30 points, so I'll be going them. I don't think there'll be any reason for you to tip Richmond at any point for the rest of this year, especially with Tom Lynch sitting out for the next probably 4 or 5 weeks. Funnily, his halftime stats were 0 disposals, 0 marks, 0 kicks, minus 15 fantasy points and 5 free kicks against and 1 report. So he had a bad day. Next up, we've got Brisbane versus Port Adelaide at the Gabba, double header for the night games. So yeah, this is the first one. Brisbane, I think, will walk into that quite comfortably favourites. Port Adelaide coming off a very nice victory against Carlton. They were a bit poor in the 4th quarter. They could have pushed for a 100-point victory, but Carlton were pretty strong in that 4th quarter, bringing it back to just 60. So yeah, I'm just going to go easy tip Brisbane there. Yeah, me too, Matt. Brisbane for me, they're really strong at home. I think they've only lost maybe 1 or 2 games this year at home. They have won 4 of their last 5 against Port Adelaide, all 3 that were at the Gabba. They have been won by Brisbane as well, so I think that's pretty strong there. Interesting, they kind of average the same amount of points for and against in a way. Brisbane average 87.7 points for and 77.3 points against. Port Adelaide, however, average 77.1 points for, so pretty much the same as what Brisbane give up, and average 87 points on the dot for teams against them. So that's pretty much the same as what Brisbane score every quarter. So it'd be not every quarter, every game. So it'd be interesting to see if that score line matches up to what we actually get this weekend, this Saturday night at the Gabba. But I will be going Brisbane. And the other game we have on Saturday night is St Kilda versus Hawthorn at Marvel Stadium. There we go. We're back there again for Saturday. We'll be going Hawks. They looked fantastic against North Melbourne on the weekend. Really put nails in all ends of the coffin for North Melbourne. They were fantastic. Everyone. It's going to be so hard, I think, for Mitch Lewis to get back in. He'll get back in. I think they'll probably just end up picking him, but it's going to be pretty stiff to the person who has to be dropped out of the side for him, I think, because everyone played fantastically this weekend. St Kilda too, they took a right to Fremantle over there at home. for Freo, and I thought that was fantastic by St Kilda. They even had the lead in the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, gave it up. Probably lost themselves 4 points and let Fremantle their final hopes still be on the run. So be interesting. I don't think it'll be too close though. I think Hawthorn should win by probably 5 to 7 goals. We will be at that game actually this weekend, so hopefully it's a good one, but hopefully Hawthorn can still get the victory. Yeah, we will be. I'll be flying down to Melbourne across the weekend, and we'll be there live at that game, so hopefully it is good, but I agree with you. Hawthorn by 5 to 7 goals. Pretty easy, that one, I think. Up the Hawks, the Hollywood Hawks. Finally onto the Sunday games. Not usually this long, not many of these games to cover over the past month or so. But it's nice to have a full round of footy. Don't like the Friday doubleheader. Fuck that off, AFL, please. Give us the extra game on the Sunday, because we've still only got 2. And for some reason, they still fucking overlap. So I don't understand it. But we've got Sydney versus Freo. Again, the top 9 versus the bottom 9. I think this is the only game where we could be different here, Uncle, because I'm going to go with the bottom 9 team. I'm going to go with Sydney against Fremantle at home. Don't think it'll be at the SCG. It is at 110, but we don't think it'll be at the SCG this week. But Sydney have been playing some really good footy over the past fortnight. Now that they've got some good names back, some good ball movement. They just really need a strong forward to be able to kick the 5 goals a game. Heaney had a fantastic game. He did kick 5 goals himself, but I don't think you can rely on Heaney to be able to do that every single week. He had borderline one of the best quarters of footy you'll see. Fremantle they came home late against St Kilda. They got across the line. They did well, but I think it's a little bit of warning signs that their last 2 games at home against bottom 6 sides they've really struggled with. I don't think it's a good look, so I'm not fully confident that they'll be storming home to make the 8 this year. I'm going Sydney. Yeah, well, I mean, if you go by the form guide, Fremantle have won their last 5. I think I do agree that they've struggled a little bit against teams at home, but they've also played some really good football. They've knocked off Port Adelaide, Gold Coast, North, Essendon, and St Kilda. A big win against St Kilda away, a big win against Essendon, I should say, away from home. So I think that they'll still be good enough because they'll be rolling with that momentum. I will be going Sydney just because the home field advantage. They have been pretty good lately. Fremantle should put up a strong fight, but I'm gonna agree with you here and go Sydney. Unfortunately, we won't be as different as you might think, Matt. And for the final game of the round, we will be looking at my Crows versus Melbourne at Adelaide Oval, 3:15. So I'll be making sure to find a pub or somewhere in the city that's got it on. Surely there'll be at least one, right? We'll be going to Adelaide. I thought they were very good. They didn't really give Richmond a sniff at any point, and they also tried different things. They played Max Michaelani in a tagging role on Vlosten, so he was playing forward, kicked himself 3 goals. Fantastic work there. Dan Curtin had a standout game. In my opinion, should get the 3 votes. 26 touches, 2 goals, 11 8 intercept marks, I think. Something fantastic. He was amazing around the ground. It all ends up. So it was really good. Melbourne. A poor 3 quarters, I thought, but I thought they came home really strong, which is good signs. But I don't think that's going to be good enough for Adelaide, especially at home. They're going to be a tough side to beat at home. So yeah, we'll be going Melbourne. I will be going Adelaide. God. Yeah, I agree with you. Melbourne were pretty poor across the weekend. Only 1 quarter when the game was kind of said and done a little bit. Adelaide were fantastic. Won all 4 quarters. Like you said, didn't really let Richmond into the game, which is what you should do against bottom 4 sides. So they're fantastic to watch. They're honestly my favourite team. Honestly, I just wear the Hawthorn stuff because that's what I grew up with. But I enjoy Adelaide more. I really do. They are probably my favourite team. Even better than the Hawks. So we'll be going them. Love them. hopefully they win the premiership this year. Wow, kind of you to say that, Uncle. I really do appreciate those words. We welcome any man onto the Crom train. We love them all. So, but that'll be the end of our tips for this week. If you enjoyed, make sure to give us a like and subscribe. We won't be streaming any games apart from the Thursday night this week. I know I said we usually do it Thursdays and Friday nights at the start of the video, but with Uncle coming down Friday, we'll be out in the city Friday, Saturday and Sunday, so you don't expect any streams this weekend, but we will see you guys Thursday night for the stream and then next week for the tips video. So I appreciate all of you guys for watching. We don't have any gauntlets thanks to Carlton a couple of weeks ago, so and thankfully no more buys either. It's been fantastic. So love yous all, look after yourselves, and bye.